everyone, Ivy Gaming here, and today we're playing Raid Shadow Legends, and I have someone with me here. Welcome, Nub Raids. You used to go by Nub Hex, right?
Nub Kex.
Or Kex.
Yes.
I just said Hex. Nub Kex.
Yep. So actually, fun fact, here we go, is that the name came from in World of Warcraft, when someone on the Horde faction spoke to you and they said LOL, right? It was in Orcish, so it came through as Kek, K-E-K. So I was like, oh, cool. I put it together as Nub Kex, but I regularly get comments from people saying like, you must be German because Kex is cookies. So your name is Noob Cookies. I'm like, no, it's not. It's Orcish, not German. Damn it. But yeah, so there you go.
That's really funny.
Back to the day.
I think he reached out to me via a comment on my series because he realized we were both kind of starting a free-to-play series, I think around the same time.
Yep.
And I was doing a free-to-play 1 hour a day, and was yours a restricted time limit as well, or what was your free-to-play?
Yeah. Well, initially I thought, like, that's such a good idea. I'm going to do the exact same thing. And then I ended up getting really frustrated by only being able to do the hour a day. So I ended up increasing it a bit. Because it's tough. It's really tough to actually get all the stuff you need to get done for the day in like that short of a time space. So yeah, but I just ended up just doing a more generic free-to-play series in the end. Lack of willpower triumphed in my case.
I had the opposite thing happen. I'd have a few days where I didn't do any play at all. Like, I barely logged in. I forgot my dailies like 3 days or something, you know? So instead I would go, if I knew I didn't play a bunch for one day, I would do like twice as much time the next day or something just to try to even out my logical time. But
I mean,
it is hard.
Fair. Yeah.
There's a lot to do in this game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
So we're here. If you guys didn't catch the first part of this video, this is actually a part 2. So on his channel, we actually went through and we started talking rares. So we want to talk about rares, especially that can help beginner in this game, or as well as might be worth keeping for the long term. So, and then we'll do some honorable mention on some of the uncommons. But we already did part 1. There's lots of great characters to talk about. Maybe some ones that you didn't think about. It's kind of clever just kind of see a couple of opinions. But we're going to continue on here. We have more factions to go through. Yay.
We do. It's orcs first, right? Yes. Okay. Cool.
Alrighty, so we have orcs. We're on to orcs here. Rares. All right, well, I don't know. What do you think?
It's pretty sparse. Yeah, I like, obviously, Galak as a starter, he's okay. He was the starter I chose when I first was playing the game. And in my opinion, he's actually the worst starter, but nonetheless, he's a starter champion. He's actually a solid rare. But I don't know. I actually, if I was being harsh here, like I said in part 1 of the video as well, is that you have to be pretty picky in terms of which rares and uncommons you level up, because you will get a bunch of epics too. I probably wouldn't pick anyone. I don't think that any of them are that worthwhile if you're early in the game. I don't know. Do you have any that you would pick?
Early game, no, but I know end game Doom Tower Ironclad has a special role. I'm actually, to be honest, the HP based rare room. He can actually, he has a quirky kit. What is it? Is it his passive? Oh, his passive.
Passive is really weird. Yeah.
His passive, when healed, will attack all enemies, inflicting damage proportional to any surplus heal. Damage inflicted is equal to 50% of any surplus heal. You kind of have to pair him with someone, but
you do, yeah. I think he can nuke really hard, as far as I know. With like if you build his HP really high in a Savage set, and then you heal him with like maybe an Apothecary crit heal or a Cythalia heal or something, I think he does nuke really hard. But I've never actually got around to doing it because it's such a big investment. But it is a very cool thing that he does that no one else does in the game.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't done it yet, but he's on my back burner. I know I've had other people suggest making sure I hold on to him for that specific secret room or whatever, but I'm like, all right, eventually, whenever I get there. And I've only done 1 set of hard secret rooms, the first rotation. I haven't gotten through all 12 of the other ones. So eventually.
100%. Like, they get really hard. So yeah.
Orcs are uncommons, I mean,
I don't like any of them.
Yeah.
I don't like any of them.
Agree. Okay.
Sorry to the orcs. Now this is a good faction. There's some really good ones in here.
Yeah. Who's your favorite?
Okay, so my favorite would probably be Hellhound, Fellhound, not Hellhound, Fellhound. So this guy is pretty much the best campaign farmer in the game because his animation is incredibly fast. So I believe I've never actually built him as my campaign farmer, but I believe it's relatively gear intensive. But you do give him good enough gear, and he clears through your campaign farming in about 5 seconds. Like it's super super quick. So that's just obviously phenomenally useful. Like it might not sound like that much, but I guess you do the campaign so many times over the course of playing the game that it adds up to a lot of time saved. And then as you're showing the rest of his kit there, like it is actually pretty good for stuff like Fire Knight. I think he puts out reflect damage, does he, on a few members of your team with the A2?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's really good for something like Fire Knight Dungeon, where when a Fire Knight hits you, the reflect damage goes off and it knocks a chunk out of his shield. So it's like he's good for progress in the game early on, decent AoE damage, helping with Fire Knight, and then you get further on, you make him a campaign farm specialist, and yeah, he's just extremely good for that. So he's my number one for this faction.
He's my campaign farmer in my main account still.
Oh, there you go. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, he's my main campaign farmer still, and this is my alt account, the free-to-play, hence the not very many things that I have.
But I use Ethos, who's a Void legendary, as my campaign farmer.
Oh gosh.
But he's not as good as Fellhound. Like Fellhound's better.
He's quick. Yeah, so it's really easy.
Yeah, better.
There's so many people in this faction. It's
yeah.
Because there's Diabolist you get from farming campaign, but she also can be good in arena, increased speed buff, and turn meter like a baby Lysandra. She's actually pretty damn good.
110 base speed is really, really good as well. Like that's like legendary level base speed, so that's extremely good again for that speed stuff you're talking about. I don't know if you ever did it, but I know there's some like cheesy comps for faction wars for this faction, using like just a bunch of Diabolists that are capable. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've never done it, so I can't tell you the exact sort of comp, but I think the people who can do it just running a whole bunch of Diabolists, and they just stop the boss and like the Valkyries from ever taking a turn. Something crazy like that, maybe in stun sets or something. I'm not sure, but it's something that's worth looking into as well, especially because she's campaign farmable, like you said.
There's a couple others that are worth. I mean, I know there's been some interesting. Have you done anything with Marquez? I know that there's some comps with him just playing in arena.
I haven't, no, but I've heard she hits really hard. Just a big AoE smack that's defense based. So yeah, she's supposed to be good. I've never built her though.
Same, never built her either. I know she has potential.
Yes, definitely. more one I think that's fun for later in the game.
That's
like
true.
maybe when you're maybe for tag team arena. I'd say she's probably really good for tag team arena. For like building up your second team. Maybe it's a bit slower, a bit tankier, more defense based. She can come in and be your damage there. But yeah, so maybe not so much early game. I've heard people say Abyssal's good as well.
Yeah.
I think he's maybe a little overrated, but I think he's supposed to be good for faction wars because he does have that block buff AoE, but it's a low chance. It's a low chance to land it. So
but it is an AoE on the A1, so that's stun set potential for faction wars and for other content.
Yes.
And the heal. This faction really lacked healing for faction wars, healing and reviving. So that's where he came into play, was a little bit of love there, right?
This was my hardest faction to get on farm for like clan v clan tournaments and stuff. I've really struggled to actually get this faction down because, like you said, actually lack of healing and reviving. So that's cool. Yeah. So he's a decent option. Yeah, speed and faction crypts, that's pretty nice. So I think he's okay. He is okay.
And uncommons, meh, right?
Yeah, meh.
Yeah, meh. Okay.
Meh. They're the ones that you kill them in campaign a lot. That's all I can say about them.
All right, Undead Hordes. What do you think here?
This is a great faction. Really, really good. So one that you don't have yet, but it's probably like top 1 or 2 or probably top 3 rares just in the game for a new account would be Frozen Banshee.
Oh yeah.
She's just insanely good. Poisoner that out damages most legendary poisoners in the clan boss. So basically, with her A3 puts on a poison sensitivity debuff. Then every time she does an A1 attack, if they have poison sensitivity on, she starts placing poisons. So the poisons are doing more damage thanks to poison sensitivity. She puts out a lot of poisons, and you start getting her in things like the relatively new revenge accessories from your clan shop,
Oh,
right? Which you
true.
can actually get. I was shocked by how good Clan v Clan is on the free to play account. It's like it's so good. But you get her in some of those revenge accessories for that small chance to counterattack. If you do get a counter attacker in your composition or ally attack, she can rack up those poisons really quickly. So yeah, she is, like I said, not only better than other rares or epics, but in fact better than most of the legendaries in terms of doing damage to the Demon Lord clan boss, which is the number one most important thing to do in the game. So yeah, I think she's just phenomenal.
There is one caveat to her, though. She's not the best when you don't have a counterattack champion to pair her with, though.
Yeah.
You kind of need to make sure she's going back through, or the poisons don't really fill up the debuff bar. Counterattack or ally attack and you're okay, but without that, I don't think I would use her as a poisoner.
Really? Oh, wow.
I've always heard don't use her unless you have counterattack. And I totally, it just doesn't do much, you know?
I think it does end up being more than most of it. Like there's some epics you could bring in, like Occult Brawler and stuff that can do the same sort of damage.
Yeah.
But I mean, certainly amongst rares, as far as I'm aware, there's no one that comes close. Yeah, so I like her a lot.
I do have to admit, I have seen her used, or I used her in another alt I had, and she did not fill up the debuff bar without. I only had Apothecary. I had no counterattack. I had no ally attack. It wasn't enough. Like, I think if you pair her with her lovely chilly sister, then you have a really good team for clan boss early on, especially. Because she puts up a bigger decreased defense if they're under poisons, and then she has the same thing, bigger poisons if poison sensitivity. So they pair really well together to get constant poisons and decreased defense together.
That was the combo I actually used for a long time on my main. Like, first of all, just in a normal composition, and then actually in a budget man-eater composition. So I got man-eater relatively early, but I didn't really have many champs to put with them. I actually ended up using Grave Chill and Frozen Banshee together.
Nice, I love that.
A long time. Yeah, it worked pretty well. And ultimately they got replaced, like, you know, like Razin came in instead when I eventually finished the Razin fusion, for example. But yeah, that Grave Chill and Frozen Banshee, they were there for a long time doing good work.
Let's see, is there, I mean, Doom Screech is worth mentioning.
Yeah.
I know Ash loves him.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't used him yet. Have you?
I used him a bit. I did use him a bit for some Faction War stuff. And I was trying to use him for Arena, but my Dream Screech is only level 50. And his base speed isn't super high, so I actually struggled to make him work in my Arena team now. Because I was struggling just to get him fast enough. But he's really good. Like, his A2 is amazing, right? Gives you big increased defense, and it fills your turn meter by 30%. Like, that's a huge turn meter fill. So for enabling a defensive-based nuker like Marquez that we mentioned, really strong for that.
True.
Like, really, really good. And it's the best version of that in the game. I think total, as far as I know.
Oh, wow.
Like, Sifi obviously gives you increased defense plus other stuff, only 15% turn meter. So I believe in terms of turn meter and increased defense, just for a defensive nuker, I think he is still technically the best. Obviously, you would use Sifi instead if you had Sifi, but
or two of them. I mean, what?
Oh man, yeah. Like, I mean, for a Void rare, Doom Screech, he's very, very good. Yeah.
I saved him on my free to play just because I know he'll be useful, but I haven't actually started using him yet.
Yeah. Oh, before we go off the rares, I want to give a quick shout out to Seducer as well. I actually think Seducer is really good.
Right.
So I had kind of forgotten about him until I was doing some Arena on my free-to-play accounts, and I saw this team, and they didn't look very strong, and Seducer was on it. I said, he's just a support, right? He won't do too much. And I fought them, and the Seducer one-shot my team, and I was going, wait, what just happened? What? So he actually hits reasonably hard. He has an AoE attack. I think it's A2. It's an AoE that can maybe... Yeah, it can put decrease attack, 100% chance, small decrease attack, but, you know, not too bad. Like, he's going to be tanky because he's defense-based. His base stats are good. And he actually hits reasonably hard. Void Affinity. So it's quite a useful thing. And then it's his A3 is the thing that I think he's most useful for, which is what I had
Yeah.
thought that was the only thing he did. It's the supportive aspect, which is small increased defense for 2 turns, but also block debuffs for 2 turns, which is very useful. It's a very rare ability as well in the game. Very, very strong. So that can be quite a nice thing to bring in against like Ice Golem, for potentially for some Arena, for some Hydra sort of stuff. So he's pretty good. Yeah, he does have that cool
The
interaction with
partner.
Temptress. I
Yeah.
think that Temptress is really bad though, so I don't think
Yeah,
it's worth
that's the
using.
problem. I was like, I didn't even remember that he did this, but that's because, yeah, it's
Yeah.
only if Tentus is on the team.
It's just a really good move. Like that's a super good move.
The little
But
vampires. She looks cool, but that's about it.
yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a pity she isn't a bit better because that would have been a really fun combo to use all the time. But yeah, I like Seducer. I actually think he's pretty cool. So, and definitely overlooked, underrated for sure.
Yeah. That's very true. I forgot about him. And I guess quick nod to Corpulent Cadaver just because he's used in some crazy, fun, like freaking insane clan boss team stuff. But that's some big brain fancy stuff that you're probably not going to really use him for practically, though, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I think it is the world record team right now, I believe. It's Corpulent Cadaver. Yeah. It's just basic. It's all about that A1, which is just the damage scales off of his shield. So yeah, in these super, super endgame clan boss teams, you can put up these massive shields and just keep extending them, keep growing them with Brogni and all that sort of stuff. And then Corpulent Cadaver, it's the harder than any champion in the game, like multiple times harder. So it's kind of absurd. I think I saw that there's over like 1 billion damage was the record, which is it's insane. It's just crazy. But not something that anyone new to the game is going to have to worry about for a couple of years before you're able to even think about maybe building a team that can do a bit of that.
But. Exactly. And I don't think these guys are that good. I mean, she's kind of fun with her little cleanup skill, I guess. I like to see those grants an extra turn if you kill a target, but I found myself only using her again. I'm like, when I try to do the brutal rush thing where it's like only uncommons and commons, I'm like, okay, she's good, but
Yeah, I remember seeing her be pretty highly rated, and I don't really see it, to be honest. It's like, yeah, it's kind of cool, but her base stats are so terrible.
Yeah,
and
they are.
Again, to make her actually do damage and kill people, you got to take her to 60. I think it's kind of a waste, unless, like you said, you're doing some sort of cool challenge thing. Then yeah, but I would steer away from Dhampir, unfortunately.
That was all for that one then, right? Right, I think so.
That's it.
Okay.
Yep. Ooh, Dark Elves.
Alrighty, Dark Elves.
Ooh.
You want to say your favorite champion? Or your best rare?
Yeah, the best. It's not even close in my opinion to the best rare. It's gotta be Coldheart. She's so good. She's so good. Like, she's basically a legendary. Like, let's be real. She's absolutely insane. It's all about that A3. Yeah, Heartseeker. Decreases turn meter by 100%. Obviously got that extra chance to crit and the damage scales on enemy max HP. So number 1, she hits insanely hard on dungeons up to level 20. Above level 20, it's capped, but still valuable. The full turn meter depletion, the 100% depletion, insane for Spider Dungeon, insane for Fire Knight. You know, starting out in the game, they're the 2 hardest dungeons by far. Really difficult. She completely crushes those dungeons. She's endgame relevant basically because of it. In those dungeons. So like my current not Fire Knight team, but my Spider team, I use 2 Coldhearts, and they're amazing. Yeah, she's a multi-hitter A1. I believe she's the only champion in the game. Yeah, only champion in the game with an AI that was customized to work against Fire Knight. So she is smart enough to use her 4-hitting A1 against Fire Knight shield and not to fire her big abilities into it.
They took them some time to fix that, I think, but.
Yeah, I don't think they ever did anything like that for any other champion, but they did it for Coldheart, which also stands to her. And then yeah, she's just insane. She's so good.
I agree. I have 4 Coldhearts at level 60.
Oh wow!
On my main account, I only have built 3 of them. I haven't even used the 3rd one. I built the 3rd one in Destroy Gear just for the sake of it, and then I never ended up doing anything with it. But I used 2 Coldhearts. And, like, yeah, I've used 2 Coldhearts in Fire Knight as well. I've used them in Spider along with my, like, definitely endgame champion.
I wonder, do you think they regret making her that good? Or do you think they're like, yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, have this one rare that's, like, so insane?
She used to be really hard to pull, I feel like. But then
Yeah.
nowadays, I feel like I pull cold hearts every single time I pull void shards for anybody. It's weird. It's like she just, but it's only for accounts that are like super endgame that have 10 of them already as well. It's never for like an early account that actually could use her.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh man, it took me a long time to get my first cold heart. I struggled through those missions for Arbiter with other champions, and it was horrible. And then when I finally did get that cold heart, it was like, the heavens opened, the sun was shining down, everything was good and happy and easy, and it was great.
I think we cannot mention Painkeeper. She is great in this faction.
Yep.
The heal is so nice. They really needed it. This faction lacked healing and reviving so bad early on. Of course, there's a few more options now, but for faction wars, I couldn't have done it without her. I needed someone to heal. And then, of course, she has the cooldown reset, and which is why she's part of so many clan boss comps. But definitely one of the top seeked out champions, I think, for rares.
Yeah, I pulled her on my free to play. I was actually delighted. Yeah, first void shard, pulled Painkeeper. I was like, yep. But yeah, no, she's great. Like her A2, it actually hits pretty hard. Like it's decent for rares, early game, good AoE. And yeah, like you said, the heal's great. She needs a ton of books. She is eating all my rare books.
Oh yeah.
But it's yeah, no, she's well worth it. She's so good, so good. You put her in like if you get a shield set even, because she's got so much HP, that could be great for dungeon progression. Yeah, yeah, she's really nice. I would say I'm going to give a special shout out to Spirit Host, actually. I see that you've got one. So I think Spirit Host for very early game is really good for Arena. You'll see her a lot in the Arena. She has the full cleanse, which is awesome, and that's actually useful as you go further in the game. But then she has the big version of increased attack on her A2. Which is going to just massively up the damage of your team in the arena, right? That like she goes and you make her faster than your starter champion, whoever the starter is, gives you that huge increased attack. You've got a War Maiden or your Simple, your Alexander, whatever. You've got someone to decrease defense. She increases attack. Then your starter goes, blows them all up, and you win. And she's got a speed aura as well. It's small, but 10% is better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing. So, and you can get her from the campaign. So, yeah, I've never used her myself. I just randomly happen to get stuff that's better. But you'll see a lot of people using her because if you don't happen to pull something that's better, well, there you go. It's like she gives you the stuff you need for Arena and something that's farmable. And yeah, she's not too bad.
I gotta mention Paragon Cheese.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's a fun one because he's one of those champions you get them and you think, oh, he's got unkillable, cool. Don't max him out if you get Paragon. Keep him low level. Don't get him beyond. I mean, you can leave him at level 30. You don't even have to put gear on him. You just need books. He needs like very mediocre gear for something called Paragon Cheese. YouTube that stuff if you guys are stuck in campaign or if you're stuck on Spider 19. He can be the answer for a lot of really tough content just to get through it in a cheesy way that's actually extremely easy to deal with.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, that last boss of Nightmare campaign especially, Morty Macabre, blocks one shots people, block revive. Guess what? Paragon's just sat there on 1 HP unkillable laughing, and you can get your sacred shard. So yeah, he's really cool.
Yeah, that's how I beat Nightmare campaign was Paragon and a Tyrell and lifesteal gear.
Nice. You want to be sickened? I beat it my first try. I cleared all of Nightmare campaign with Still of the Drakes and Tyrell. And I was like, you know what? They're not going to beat this because, Morty's going to one-shot someone. I'll just give it a go. I just left it on auto, came back to my phone. I was like, oh, 3 stars. Cool. They just got lucky and they cleared it in the first attempt. And I was like, okay, grand. I guess I just...
Oh my goodness, nice.
Yeah. I was like, that saved me a lot
Tyrell,
of stress.
Man.
Okay,
see?
cool.
Tyrell, he's good.
Yeah, he's great.
I guess we can't not talk about Cal, even though we're Team Elhain. Yeah. We have to give a little nod to the other starter that most people consider the best starter in the game.
He's a great champion for sure. Good AoE damage, gives him some turn meter, and then he's got the poisons as well. So yeah, like you said, we think Elhain's better. Elhain's got the double AoEs. She smacks just really high physical damage. She's a bit faster. But Kale's great. Yeah, he's really good against the clan boss dungeons. Very flexible, very versatile for sure. That's his weakness as well, though, is that to make him versatile, you got to give him accuracy. And if he's got accuracy, he's got less
not gonna
damage.
hit as hard. Yep, that's the thing is people say, oh, he's the best because he's well rounded. But when you're picking your starter, we know the picking for a campaign farmer is more important than picking for someone who can do some damage in clan boss, because you can find other people for those roles. But like, you want to make sure that you're getting your starter champion like as hard hitting as possible, as like the level 60 as fast as possible, all those fun things. And yeah, he just kind of falls short for me.
I just realized we missed one of the champions I especially wanted to talk about. Can we jump back to Undead Hordes for a second? I'm pretty sure that's where he is. And we go down to the very bottom. The very bottom. Not of the rares, the very bottom. There he is.
Yeah.
Deathhound, the common.
That's true.
This guy, I think this guy's actually pretty decent. Yeah, it's his 8-2, 2-turn cooldown when you book him out, and it's super fast to book him out because he's common. You get him all the time. Puts a poison debuff for 2 turns, and every 2 turns he's putting out a poison debuff. As you can see from his stats, it's absolutely shocking. He's a terrible champion, but
only for low levels.
When you're starting out though, what I actually ended up doing on my free-to-play account was that like especially once you get your starter up to level 60, so they're done, or when you're trying to get them from 50 up to 60 and you need a few level 50s, Deathhound is like the best thing to level up, because like you just slap some of your terrible gear onto him. You know, like you get those weird missions, the progress missions, which are like put someone in like 3 support sets or something weird, 3 life sets. You're like, I don't want to do that. Just put them on your Deathhound. He's perfect for it. And you just slap him into your clan boss runs, and he's like, yo, I'm just going to throw out some poisons, have some extra damage, maybe get better chests, get some better stuff, better rewards, just for free, basically. So he's like, yeah, he's my go-to 5-star chicken. I don't take him to 6-star, don't take him to 60, leave him at level 50. And then you just, you know, when you get up to leveling, you get 5 of them to level 50, feed them all to someone you actually want to take up to 60, and boom, there you go. But he's doing good stuff for you until then. So yeah, I like this guy a lot.
I actually, looking at his stats and knowing how squishy he is, he's actually he's actually a perfect candidate for your flat defense chest, gloves, boots, because when it scales based on percent, it's not a big percentage. He would actually get more benefit from the flat stats than percentages.
Like 573 flat defense.
It's so bad.
It's absolutely shocking. It's so bad. Yeah, like he dies almost instantly. Yeah, but it's like he gets about 2 of those poisons off, and you're like, all right, cool. You know what? Salute to you, Death. You did your job. Yeah.
It's true.
I had to, because I never got we talked about Outlaw Monk in I think it was in my video, the one on my channel, but I didn't have Outlaw Monk, and then I got him eventually. He wasn't booked out, so I was like, you know what? My boy Deathhound, you're going to fill in for a while instead. Why
not? I like it.
Yep.
All right, we got Knight Rev here. So I think we just got to... I'll start with the all-star here of Renegade.
Yeah.
Super endgame champion. Replace... If you don't have Kymar, she can do almost everything. He can, roll-wise, except for Rena, whatever. But, I mean, her cooldown, it's good, and it's like... It's good enough to be the same for what you need her for as far as farming dungeons and Doom Tower. Her animations are a little slower, but I do love Renegade, and she also has the decreased speed as well, which is helpful against things like Fire Knight and some Doom Tower stuff as well.
Yeah. You can use her at level 30 as well, like you said with Paragon. Same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like
same.
She you can just run her super low, no gear and stuff, and like she'll just get killed, but it's okay so long as she gets her sacrificial ritual off first. It's like, yep, you did your job. You got the cold hearts back around to their heart seekers faster, or whatever it happens to be, and yep, thanks Renegade. And she's really good.
I have 2 of her built, one at level 60 and one at level 30, and the one at level 30 is for my dragon team, where I want people to die once they get to the boss, so then my occult brawler just does all the poison damage.
Yeah, that's smart. I think that some people actually prefer her to Kymar for Fire Knight, I believe, because of what you said. She's got that multi-hitter that can decrease speed, so she can actually be better than him there, which is kind of crazy, seeing as Kymar is, I would say, like one of the absolute top 5 legendaries in the entire game. She's competing with him. That's pretty cool.
So I don't have a Kymar.
Oh, you don't have one? Oh no.
Nope. Not in the main. Nope.
Oh no. I got one recently, just completely out of the blue, and I was like, oh my god. And it's kind of stressful because it's like I have to change every team now to make him work. Because like the different speeds compared to Renegade, it was a real nightmare actually trying to fit everything in instead. I wanted to pick Coffin Smasher here actually in this faction. I think this guy's amazing. I got him on my free to play, and he's incredibly good. Yeah, his A1 triple hitter knocks down the Fire Knight shields. That's great for progress. And this also, when you book it up, has a really good chance to place the big decrease attack. It's 15%, but that goes up to 30% with books, and he hits 3 times. So every time he attacks, it's basically a 90% chance to place decrease attack. Roughly speaking, that's really good. Very consistent big decrease attack. It makes you live for so much longer against that clan boss. And then you can put him with the Giant Slayer Mastery, and he pumps out tons of damage. His A2 there, HP burn. He needs a lot of books. It's a bad thing, but this isn't bad either. The HP burn, mostly for that clan boss again, it just does a really big chunk of damage. I believe up to Nightmare, maybe, that HP burn will do more damage than a poison, I think. So obviously you can only have 1 HP burn on at a time, but it's a good source of extra damage. And then he's got a nice little passive, less damage from AoE attacks. It's small, but it helps you against that clan boss. And then I think it's quite funny when you look at his stats. His base HP 21,000 is that's equal to a lot of HP based legendaries. It's super high. So yeah, I actually think that this guy is really underrated. I think that he's viable up until Nightmare Clan Boss at the very least. Like, I think he's really good. He's well worth taking to 60 to get him masteries, lifesteal gear, and he's just going to be an absolute tanky monster against that Clan Boss, keeping your team alive, staying alive. And he does a lot of damage because, triple hitter A1 with Giant Slayer, tons of damage, tons of healing with lifesteal. Super, super strong.
That's true. I'm trying to think. I know I've seen Crimson Slayer used a little bit, but I've never have personally.
I've never seen her actually.
Right. Well, she's got for Fire Knight, she's got a 3-hitter on her A1 as well.
Okay.
I feel like she gets a little bit of love just in the rare conversation department. And then she also has the heal reduction. Okay. So I think early game Fire Knight, you got heal reduction debuff, AoEs for the waves, turn meter manipulation as well, and a 3-hitter. So early Fire Knight, maybe not end game, but.
Yeah, I actually think, again, I've never looked at this champion, believe it or not. But yeah, like you said, she's actually pretty solid for that Fire Knight stuff for sure. That's cool.
I actually have her, so maybe I'll use her.
There you go.
Oh, man. All right, I don't think there's much there, right?
Nah, I don't think so. When I first started playing, that dude at Monitor or something, he's like the big fat scary looking dude. I remember building him up, so like, oh, this guy looks badass, this is great. My first 3 days of playing the game, I didn't know what I was doing, and then I regretted it afterwards. I was like, why did I level this guy? This guy's terrible.
All right, we got dwarves. So many dwarves. I didn't realize how many rare dwarves there are. Jesus, what's behind my head? We got one of my favorites behind my head, so I'll just mention him first. Bulwark. Love Bulwark.
Yes.
I used him heavily up until Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. He was in my final team before I switched to Ultra Nightmare, and he could hang. He gave me a 3-key Ultra Nightmare with only Spirit Affinity because of his passive. So he has the chance to extend duration of all debuffs when he's attacked. So he's good for Affinity Clan Boss, but not so much Void. Don't get hit as often.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because they hit you twice, right? Affinity. Cool.
Yep, 4 times when it's Spirit.
Oh, wow.
Huh. Yeah, so it's actually, I think it's 4 times. There's a 3. I know it's been so long, I don't remember.
Yeah, I've been running Map Meter for so long. I'm just like, whatever, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, of course, HP burn and weaken doesn't hurt either. So I love Bulwark for Clan Boss at least.
Yeah, really good. Clan Boss specialist.
Who do you like?
So I would I actually think that Kursat is pretty good. I was doing I did a collab with YST, and he opened up some Void shards during the collab. He opened a pack of 10 Void shards, and I think 4 Kurzads came out, and we were like, "What is happening right now?" But yeah, he's a decent damage dealer. So he does have he's got 2 AoEs, I think. His AoE and his A2 that fills his turn meter. That's actually pretty decent. And then I think his A3 is an AoE as well that puts increased accuracy on your team and a small version of decreased defense on the enemy. And they both have short cooldowns. I think is it decreased speed on his A1? I kind of feel like it might be.
Yes.
It is. Yeah, there you go. So
yeah, that's a good kit.
Yeah, I think it's a good solid kit. You know, increased accuracy is a fairly rare buff to get. There's not a ton of champions that do it, and it's very useful. So I think he's solid. Believe it or not, I actually run him in my dwarf faction war team right now.
Oh, nice.
Just because I was too lazy to level up another damage dealer, and like I've got like Brogni and Tormin, so like they just do the whole thing themselves, really, and the rest of them are just sort of watching. But I leave this guy in there because he actually does decent damage at level 50. Obviously better if he was 60, a lot better. But I just throw him in at level 50, and it knocks out that complete faction war with a rare in your team mission. Super easy if the dwarves are up that day. But no, I think he's good. I think he's good, and he's probably worth taking up to 60 potentially. Something like Frost Spider and Doom Tower, where you have to land a HP burn through really high resistance. He gives you an increased accuracy to help handle that. So not bad.
Yeah, when he first came out, I remember people being excited. Ooh, Doom Tower to help us not need such crazy accuracies. That was exactly it. It was Doom Tower. I was like, ooh, yay, finally. There's Master Butcher is another Doom Tower. He's kind of fun too.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people asking about him because of Bommel. I've not tried him myself, but I think that he does work really well.
Cold Brew had some stuff on him. I remember seeing, and I didn't have him at the time, and I think I ended up doing the Crimson Helm strat for Bommel instead. But he's also helpful just for that secret room with, again, Spirit. Or no, this is the rare one. Oh yeah, his Spirit. Yeah, rare Spirit champions. Ugh, secret rooms, man.
Yeah, but I think he's supposed to be really good. Yeah, like he revives people full HP. He heals people for all the damage he takes. He does some really cool stuff. He's very unique, very interesting. I haven't actually used him, but he's really cool. And I think that probably if Cold Brew might have the video, like you said, I don't know. But yeah, there are some cool videos for sure out there where he can help you with Bommel. I tried that Crimson Helm strategy and it was too frustrating. I just gave up.
It takes like, forever to manual and make sure you're timing things correctly. I do it still, but I hate it every moment of it.
I tried. I put several hours into trying to make it work and get the stuff, and then eventually I said, you know what? I just don't care. I'm just not going to beat this Doom Tower rotation this time. I'll wait 3 months. I gave up.
Now it's back. Have fun.
Yeah, I've got a new strat. I've got 3 Vogoths, and I do have a Master Butcher in the vault if I need him as well. So I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna take him down this time.
Oh, no.
Crimson Helm has had her gear slowly stripped off her and just get back in the vault. Crimson Helm.
Should we mention anyone else here? I mean, there's a couple other decent champions, but.
Yeah, there's a couple that's decent. Like I think Avir is actually okay. He's got like a little chance to poison, AoE decreased attack, a bit of turn meter, bit of healing. Like it's nothing exceptional. Like it's just okay.
That's true.
But he's okay.
I remember thinking I was going to use him in Faction Wars, then I never did.
Yeah, I think I remember Ash was like mad into Avir at one point, and I built him out because of that. And then Ash had to make a bunch of videos apologizing and saying, "Guys, I might have overhyped Avir a little bit. I don't think he's actually quite that good." Now I have a second look, which was quite funny. I think Dilgal's decent as well as like an AoE damage. But again, I don't know if he's super worth building out for that. He does have decreased accuracy, which is nice. Can do decreased defense. Like he hits hard, but like we said for other champions, you know, just hitting hard is not necessarily something that's worth building a rare for unless you got a specific thing you need them for. So I don't think he does anything specific really. But, you know, if you get him early on, he is a really good void affinity damage dealer if that's what you need.
There, and I think the uncommons, Wait,
yeah.
I've never used the uncommons. Okay.
No.
All right, last but not least, the newest faction.
Yes. I don't think any of them are worth building. But what do you think?
I think Odachi is worth building if you need it for faction wars. And I say this a lot because he has block debuffs and increased defense, and that could be what you need if you're to avoid the stuns and the fears from the boss. If you're needing that block debuffs. So I think and he does put up a shield, so there's some more support. It is the boss that ignores defense on 21, so that can be a bit tough if you have a bunch of squishy people. So I think if you're not he didn't have a lot of luck with the Shadowkin, I think he's worth holding on to. He was someone I put aside, I didn't end up meeting him.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, yeah. Especially because that boss, it puts AoE stun on everybody on like this first turn. Yeah. And then it's probably going to kill someone. It's pretty nasty. Yeah, so putting out block debuffs just stops it. Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
You just have to tune it right, because if he's not the one going last, then they're just going to waste...
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
he needs to go last, right before the boss.
One speed faster than the boss, yeah.
Yeah,
interesting.
Or else they're just going to blow it, because it's only one turn. So
I see what you mean, yeah.
That's where that one turn block debuffs kind of sucks sometimes.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, he's pretty cool, though. Yeah, I was super chill with the Shadowkin, because I got Lydia, obviously, before they opened the Shadowkin crypt.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just need to win, but I don't need to 3-star it, because it doesn't give anything, actually, for that. So I was super chill. I eventually just got lucky. I like Ninja and Relentless.
Naturally, yeah.
Eventually, Ninja just happened to just proc like 3 or 4 turns in a row and like one-shot the boss. I was like, okay, there we go. That did that.
Yep,
just
same.
Wait for that tiny infinitesimal just fraction of a chance that it eventually happens, and it will.
Oh, man. Alrighty. Well, yeah, I think we covered them all. So again, guys, if you're just tuning in here, make sure you check out the first half of this video. We talk about some other really great rares on his channel. I'll make sure to give links to all his stuff below in the comments and pinned comment. In the comments and in the description.
Yes.
But thank you for inviting me, and thank you for joining me for the second half.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on your channel too. This has been it's been great fun. Actually, I was surprised by how many new champions I know about now. Actually, it's so funny going through this and being like, whoa, there was at least 3 different like rares in there. I was like, I actually didn't know what they did. And I was like, oh, they're actually really good. That's a new rare to add on to the list of stuff to watch out for. It's really cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, and I will see everybody in the next video.